Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Hook, Line, and Shifter, brought to you by yours truly, Bob McCarty. Got another packed episode for you all this week, coming off of a race weekend that we just had down at Amelia Earhart Park in Hialeah. I'll have the results from the time trial on Saturday, the cross country on Sunday. And this also was the opportunity to get some makeup points for the Florida State Championship Series. Even though it wasn't a Florida State race, those points can transfer over to the series. I'll talk a little bit about exactly where we stand with the Florida State points series going into next weekend in Ocala. Have a great interview with Gilberto. Looking forward to getting a chance to meet Gilberto, or getting you all a chance to meet Gilberto. Amazing guy. We got a full lap of Amelia Earhart Park. See what those race conditions were actually like for us on Sunday. Of course, we got some water racing. We got some water racing from the time trial on Saturday and the cross country on Sunday. As always, I can't do this without my sponsors. I appreciate each and every one of my sponsors, and I appreciate the support that you all give my sponsors. Orcus Technologies, the leader in worldwide telecommunication. ESI grips, beautiful grips, no numb hands, just about any color you possibly want to put on your bike. ESI grips. U Cycling, amazing clothing. Been in it for years now. Very comfortable, whether I'm riding for 90 minutes or 9 hours. Comfortable clothing. Check out their website, ucycling.com. MASH Mobile Vet, Dr. Tenzer and Amy. Amazing partners in this business. Stressful for you and your animals. Taking them to the vet. MASH Mobile Vet will bring that animal hospital directly to your front door. Check them out. mashmobilevet.com. POC helmets, Envy wheels, Pirelli tires, and of course, Absolute Black. Thank you to my sponsors. For ESI grips and U Cycling, don't forget to use that discount code HLS2025 to go ahead and get yourself 20% off site-wide. Again, amazing product. Thank you, my sponsors, and thank you for supporting each and every one of them. 3 weeks left in 2025. Why not now? I'll start January 1st. I have a New Year's resolution, January 1st. I'm going to get back into training January 1st. I'm going to lose weight starting January 1st. And I'm going to get back to the gym January 1st. Why not now? What's the difference? What's going to be the difference over the next 3 weeks that you have to start January 1st? Why not now? I'll tell you why. Excuses. Whole lot of excuses. I've had a rough year. I just need 3 more weeks to get started. Come on, man. You don't need 3 weeks to get started. Get started now. There's nothing the matter with right now. Don't wait till January 1st. 3 weeks left. Get the jump start. Get it going. Make a difference. Think about the people in your life that you can influence by not waiting till January 1st. Why not now? Let's do this. Now, people. Now. It's like I said, last weekend, we had the Coconut Cup Round 4 in Hialeah, Amelia Earhart Park. One of the good parts about this round is it gives you the opportunity to make up points. So Saturday we had a time trial, opportunity to get 10 points. Sunday was a cross country, opportunity to get 30 points if you could sweep the weekend. Those points will transfer over into the FSC, into the Florida State Championship Series. They'll replace a 0. You couldn't make a race, had a DNF. They'll also replace your lowest score. So it's a great opportunity to make a big difference in your overall. There is some also that come down just to block some points. You don't want somebody to get an advantage on points on you. So you might have to do well at that race just so they don't get 30 points or 29 points. You're going to come down and try and beat them so you can bump down their points. Saturday was the time trial. Amelia was approximately 7 miles, a little over 7 miles long. And the time trial, man, I say this every week, but God, those elite guys were just flying out there. We'll go with the overall times. We'll just pick into the top 10 overall. This is a combination of everybody. Usually the time trial brings out somewhere around 100, maybe 110, 120 people. This time I think we had somewhere around that amount. Marco Carey. Marco was on the show. He absolutely crushed it. Crushed that that time trial. He threw down a 25:03. Next person behind him with Jonathan for a second place, 11 seconds off Marco's time. Proud of that guy, man. He was absolutely flying out there. Ashton got himself a third. Jack Mazzoni, fourth. Julio pulled off a really, really strong fifth place. I squeaked into that sixth place spot. What do we have here? Benny Hernandez squeaked into 7. Mario got himself an 8th. Gilberto, we'll see a little bit of Gilberto in a bit. Gilberto got 9th, and then Jacob Fernandez wind up getting the 10th in the overall. Again, that's the overall. Within the actual race itself, it's all broken down. If you go on to goonriding.com, click over to results, you can see exactly what the breakdown was for the time trial on Saturday. All right, a little bit of rest Saturday afternoon. Use those air boots Saturday night, and then get ready for Sunday for a cross country. Experts had to do 4 laps. Everybody else Sport had to do 3. Base had to do 2. Really, really a fast course. In the interview with Gilberto, I had mentioned that the average speed is usually a good reflection of how hard the course was. And average speeds were somewhere just under 17 miles an hour, which means the course was relatively easy. I know it's a relative term. It was relatively easy, and those speeds were up there. So on Sunday, before we get into how all this is going to play out for Santos, Jonathan got himself the win in the XC1 category, and Marco got second. About 16 seconds Marco was behind Jonathan. So Jonathan got second to Marco on Saturday, and then followed it up by taking Marco down on Sunday. So good job to Jonathan. Mario got himself a third place. Good job, Mario. Squeaked right into that top podium position. So third is a really good for that category. 40 plus, Julio got the win. Carlos Pacheco third. Pacheco got second. Antonio Guzman got himself a third. In the 50 plus category, I got the win. In 50 plus. Trent got second. JC landing on the boxes, got himself a third. Honorable mention to Jeff Wade. Jeff Wade decided to come out of retirement. He's not in retirement, but I don't get a chance to see him that much. Jeff Wade came out and got himself a 4th, and Kennan got himself a 5th in that category. Benny Hernandez got the win in the sport category. XC2 Sport 40 plus. Who do we have? UL Garcia got himself the win there. 50 plus, Alex Duran. Alex Duran's is actually doing really well this year. Ivan got second. Daniel Domazowski got third. Good job for all three of them. Times separated them pretty good. Not really a sprint finish. 60 plus, another one coming out of retirement. He's not in retirement. Charlie Hames got himself the win in 60 plus. Expert women, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is Patty's first top step. Great job, Patty. She wound up beating out Urani and Gabby. Urani second, Gabby third. Patty was on the show. Check out that show. I think it was 4 or 5, maybe even 6 episodes ago. So great job, Patty. Sport women, Lauren got the win over Deanna. Deanna's still holding strong in there. Jennifer got herself a third. And in the base category, Sebastian got the win. 40 plus, Roberto got the win there. Ronaldo pulled himself off another win. One more race to go, Ronaldo, and then guess what? You're out, man. You're out. Sport next year, expert the following year. Look forward to racing bar to bar with you in 2 years. Coming up to that 50 expert category, but good job last weekend. Clydesdale, Osvaldo got the win. Junior under 19, Logan, 60 plus, Steve got the win there. Junior under 15, Koa. Koa's pretty good. Name on top there quite a bit. Base women, Maria, Brielle Fernandez. A Fernandez family. Ooh, you guys are fast. Fenton for U13 and Domenico for the novice men. E-bikes had the opportunity to race Arosto. Rogerio got the win for e-bikes, 50 plus. Terry got the win there. And then for the amateurs, German got the win there. All right, so this is how the whole thing works out. Like I said, those points wind up transferring over to the Florida State Championship Series if needed. It's funny, as the year goes on, we try to do, or you try to do the calculations of how you're going to finish based on the drops, the makeups, everything that goes along with it. And unfortunately, it doesn't mean shit. When does everything start to matter? It starts to matter after this past weekend. Gone Riding or Dave will do all the calculations, and now the points are set exactly where they're at. We go into Santos next weekend, and the points count. All your points count at Santos. That's the nature of the way the series go. All the points count. So all the calculations are done. Let's talk about what's going to happen, what's going to play out on this next weekend up in Ocala. For the expert category, the young expert category, the 19 to 39, this isn't the elite. I'll get into the elite in a minute. 19 to 39 category, everything is pretty well set in place for them. Ryan has a 5-point lead over Jonathan in second, Jack in third, Marco in fourth, Jacob in fifth. That's really the top 5. I don't foresee a whole lot of changes. Granted, one year it came down to Ryan and Vic for the final. Ryan wound up flatting and could not fix it. Lost a bunch of points and wound up losing the series. So be assured that he's probably going to have enough sealant in his tires, an extra tube, every single thing that he needs. But he's got a 5-point lead. To lose that to Jonathan would have to beat him and get a minimum of 4 people in between them. Tie goes to the final race. In the 40-plus category, here's a good one. Carlos has a pretty, Julio has a pretty comfortable lead, 197 points. But second and third, Carlos Pacheco and Eric Olson. Those two are tied, 189 points each. Guess what? We got ourselves a race there for the second spot on the podium. That's going to be an exciting one to see. Antonio is in fourth and Gilberto is in fifth. Actually, not too bad. Gilberto, 183 points. Antonio, 185 points. So there's only a 2-point difference. Gilberto has the opportunity to move up if he can go ahead and beat Antonio and get somebody in between the two of them. He can pick up some points and move up. And then they're 4 points down on Eric, which could be a bit of a challenge, which means you have to have 5 people in between the two of them. All of them have very good results, so they'll be in shape, ready to go and throw down this weekend. In the 50 plus category, points are pretty well set in place. I'm in the lead in that category. Trent's in second, Mike Adam in third, and JC in fourth. Mike has the opportunity to possibly catch Trent. 3-point difference. That's going to be a hard one. Trent is pretty strong there. Mike is pretty strong there too. But a 3-point difference, anything can happen. In sport category, Mark Delabertis has a pretty comfortable lead. And Bryson and Rodrigo, there you go. That's another fight. 183 as opposed to 182 for Rodrigo. Even though there is a 1-point difference, it's as good as being tied. Tiebreaker goes to the winner. So Rodrigo, hopefully he can pull that off and get into the second spot. And then, well, here's another one for you. 4th and 5th place. Juan and Adrian tied in points also. 6th place doesn't really have the opportunity to move up in points, but that Mark is in the lead. He's pretty solid. 2 through 5. We're gonna have some good racing there. XC2 for the 40 plus. Doug and second place. Adalberto. 188 to 187. There you go. 1-point difference is as good as being tied. Championship's going to go to the winner. So, Doug, Alberto, good luck, man. You guys gotta fight there. 50 plus sport. Alex Duran, very comfortable lead. Daniel Domazniewski, very comfortable in second. Anton, pretty comfortable in third. Joe Fernandez, comfortable. So XC2 50 plus sport, not a whole lot I think is going to occur in that one as far as any possible changes. Open 60 plus, Dick's got a comfortable lead, 3-point lead. Again, anything can happen there. The rest of it, 2 through 5, everybody looks pretty good there. Darla, for the expert women, Darla's got a comfortable lead. No other points. Urani, be very challenging for her to try and catch her. And then the rest of the way down in the category, pretty solid with where they're at. So nothing that's going to really come of that one. Sport 2 women. Nope. Lauren's got a comfortable lead. Deanna's a comfortable second. And Jennifer's a comfortable third. I don't think there's going to be any changes in that category. Again, like I said before, anything is possible, but I don't really foresee changes in those categories. XC3 base. Nope. Top 5. Everybody's comfortable in that category also. XC3 base 40 plus. Got ourselves another tie. Jesus and Eisman. The two of them are 1-point difference from each other, which means it's going to come down to a fight between the two of them. Neither of them have actually won a race. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see the tactics that they go about this weekend. XC 50 plus, Ronaldo's got a very comfortable lead, and in the rest of the category, it doesn't look like there's going to be a whole lot that's going to happen. In the Clydesdale, same thing, the way the points break down, doesn't look like there's going to be a whole lot of fight in that category. Junior under 19. Nope, once again, everybody's pretty tight in points. Not a whole lot is going to change there. Again, barring anything that could happen. 60 plus, not a whole lot of changes. Under 15, not a whole lot happening there. Base women. Nope. 4 contenders, everybody's comfortable in their points. And junior women under 19, Chloe and Emma are going to have a fight. Actually, all 3 of them. Brielle, Chloe, and Emma. First, second, and third. 194, 193, 193. Any one of those has the opportunity to wind up on the top step. That's going to be a good one to watch and see how that plays out. Juniors under 13, same thing. Point category is all within is all pretty much ironed out. In the elite category, we're going to wrap up this with the elite category. Elite category, like I've said numerous times, 19 to 49-year-old category. In this, Ryan's got a 5-point lead. Jonathan's 5 points down. 4 points to Jack. Marco's another 14. The big one that's coming up is Jacob and Julio. Why is it so significant? Both of them have 162 points together. Ashton is actually in 7th. So there's a possibility that he can squeak into that 5th place spot. So we've got Jacob, Julio, and Ashton. You want to talk about 3 people you want to pay attention to in that elite category? There you go. That's the 3 of them that you really want to watch out for, because 1st through 5 pays. 6th doesn't pay at the end of the year when we go to the banquet. So that's it. That's what we have to look forward to coming up in this weekend. Coming up in Ocala at Santos for Florida State Championship Series round 8. All right, like I said, always want to have somebody new for an interview. I hope you enjoy this interview with Gilberto. All right. And as promised, once again on Hook, Line, and Shifter, it brings me great pleasure today to introduce Gilberto Araujo. Last weekend, we were in Amelia Earhart Park. Gilberto finished 4th place in the XCO and 2nd place in the short track. We had off for Thanksgiving. Week before that, we were over in Alva, finished a strong 2nd. Before that, up in San Falasco and finished another strong 2nd. This is all for the XC1 40 plus category. He's currently sitting in 5th place for the 2025 XC1 40 plus category for the Florida State Championship Series. Only 2 points down from cracking into that 4th place spot. We'll have to see what Gilberto has to say about trying to nail down that 4th place spot. Currently holding on to a strong 10th place in the elite overall category, which I've said before is the 19 to 49-year-old category. It's a mass category. He's holding on to a strong 10th place in that. 10th place will also get you a plastic plate. This year, Gilberto finished 17th in marathons, 10th in the cross, in the short track, and 14th in the regular cross country up in Roanoke, Virginia at Nationals. In 2024, 2nd overall. 2023, 4th overall. 2022, 3rd overall. 21, 4th overall. And in 2020, 14th overall. Looks like 2020 was when he was making his debut. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Gilberto. Thanks for coming on Hook, Line, and Shifter today.
Thanks, Bob, for having me.
So I've said this before with all the other introductions that I've done. Were you aware of all these stats that I just threw out about you?
No, not at all.
So
I was not good to do all that search, but I got pretty numbers in there, doing all this year's race.
Yeah. You're one of the reasons I wanted everybody to get a chance to learn something about you, as well as myself. I wanted to learn something about you. But this season, it seemed like halfway through the season, things really, or maybe 3/4 of the way through the seasons, things seem to start to turn around for you. I want to get into that in a minute, why things really started to turn around for you. But let's go back to the beginning. Tell us, or tell some of the fans out there, a little bit about yourself, about your cycling background, and how did you get involved in mountain biking?
I think one of those reasons is injury from another sport.
What was that?
Playing soccer and running, and I kind of uh, yeah, I used to play soccer a lot in Brazil, and when I get here, I was playing soccer as well. And but I was playing against those guys. There was a lot of injury, and then I stay home for a couple of days to get recovered, and I have to put in the scale now. What I'm gonna choose? I don't want to be out of the sports. I always been a proactive guy, and I said I do something, and I got invited by a guy called Van Clay Santana to do a bike riding with Lita, and I got
Okay.
hooked.
So all right. So let me get this straight. You got hooked into mountain biking at Olita.
Oh,
Most
Lita.
people, most people, when you have the opportunity to ride Olita, you quickly decide that mountain biking is not for you. So what a chain of events that you choose to get hooked in
Yeah,
after riding Olita. What year was this?
I think it was 2008, if I'm not wrong.
Oh wow. So
Yeah,
so you've
I
been
don't
around a
even had a
while.
bike that time. Olita, they have like a rental bike. You go in there and rent a bike and go to the trails.
Okay. So in 2008, and the other part that even makes me laugh, since I've been around the sport for a long time, is Olita in 2008 is not Olita of today. You're talking 2008. Even makes me think more. Why the hell did you decide that you like the sport? Being that you had I don't know, you had Markham, Amelia, Quiet Waters, and the old in we lost Quiet Waters in '08. So I don't know if you actually saw the old Quiet Waters, but you
No,
had
no.
so many better parks than there. Yet you decided you liked it.
I
What
think
if you can recall, what kind of bike were you on at Alita in '08?
I think it was specialized rock
Like a
chopper. I
rock
think
hopper?
yeah,
Like a rock.
rock hopper. Yeah,
Okay. Uh,
hardtail.
and a hardtail. I'm for those of you that don't know, I'm exaggerating just how bad Olita is. They've done a great job with the park, but Olita is a lot of loose rock, palmetto roots, and it's literally out on somewhat of an island on the intercoastal, just across from the ocean. No elevation, but man, the place just beats the crap out of you. So after Olita and renting a specialized bike, what was the next step in your career?
To get a nice bike and comfortable to ride with my friend in there.
Okay, so you got your own bike and went back to Alita again.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, and why was it Alita? You live in that area?
No, he was being right in that park. I don't know what reason he liked that, and I think it was a good idea for him to bring me there. Otherwise, if I don't like that park, I probably am not gonna like any other park.
That's a good point. If you can find a way to like Alita, everything else looks looks
I heard a
great.
lot of people tell me I hate Olita. It's a lot of roots, a lot of losing rocks. But I love that park. They want to give it a lot of skill from me in this stage to be a better rider.
I couldn't agree with you more. If you can put up with that place and ride it, you're gonna be pretty good anywhere that you go. I believe if I'm not mistaken that those were the years maybe 8, 9, 10 that we were actually doing 12 hours there. 12 hours of that park. I don't know if you attempted any of those back then, but I did those things solo, and some of them I think I was actually on a hardtail. I might have been on a hardtail 26 at the time, which is just
I think
crazy.
I think it was riding a AG right that time.
Yep, yeah, exactly. When I was with AG, we only had hardtail bikes. It was a 29 hardtail.
I remember I have a friend who was doing those race, the 12 hours race. They was race for big wheels. That's where I got my first bike.
Oh, okay. So now, okay, so 2008 experience Alita, went and got your own bike. What was your first dabble into racing?
I think it was 2009 and 2000. I think it was 2009. My first race was on Amelia. No, no,
Okay.
Markham Park. Markham Park.
Okay. And what
I
do you remember what category you entered in at? Did you start at the novice or base? What did you do?
I'm not sure. I think it was base. Was two lap. I was able to do only one half a way up the halfway on the lap, I was on the side of the trail and vomit.
So two lap race, you complete one of them and decide, man, this sucks. But now we're okay, 2009, we're 16 years later, and you're still plugging away. So you start with Alita, you throw up in your first race, and you're still doing this. What after that experience, what was the were you determined to try and get better at it? What was the drive that made you keep going after that?
I saw you, Sean, Allison, all the I think it was Moise, all the
Yep.
big guns in there racing and put all that speed on those trails and saying, man, I want to be like those guys. What do they eat? What do they drink?
I occasionally I throw a segment in of what's in your water bottle, and that would be a good one, man. What were those guys eating and drinking back then?
And then I got one of my friend, Luis. He was raised for big wheel, and now Gilbert, we train him, man. We train like 5 in the morning and go to a road bike, do like 50 miles, 70 miles in the morning before we go to work. I said, no way, I'm gonna do that.
50 miles? Come on.
At 5 in the morning, I said, no, no, thanks.
Wow. And then okay, so you had some of the inspiration from seeing some of the fast guys back then, and then did you continue to do more base races and let's call it eventually finish the 2 lap race and then move up
Yeah,
to
yeah.
sport, or and how long did that take?
Was not easy. I was doing some base race, like a local race, like as a coconut cup,
Okay.
and then I think was back in 2015. I started to go to the FSC race. I think,
Okay,
but
in 15. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Basically, I was on just the local race, and then the friends of mine was going to FFC, and then they invited me and to do a couple races in there. And I kind of like to travel to get out of in this central Florida, down South Florida to go to another place. I love the environment in there, and I never stopped.
Have you gone on a side note, have you gone back to play soccer at all or no?
No, no, but I have a lot of friends that they still doing, and I used to play in FAU. There's a couple fields in there, and they always call me and, hey, when are you gonna show up to play again? I said, man, I want to go, but I scared to get got hurt again.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. I think your legs are probably really good at going in circles, and then to go back to that sport and have that side to side jarring, it doesn't sound like anything good can come of that. All right, so 15, you decided to kind of hop into some Florida State series racing. How do you remember how that? Did you chase the series, or was it just hit and miss races? Maybe a couple of them in the. I think back then it might have been a 9 race series, or did you actually chase the whole series?
I chased the whole series no, on. I think it was on a sports.
Oh, okay. How did you
Yeah,
finish? Do you remember?
no, not
Okay.
really.
I didn't go. I can go that far back. Unfortunately, I didn't. I didn't do it. I asked this. I asked this question a few times to some of my other guys. When you finished sport and then you moved up to the expert category, was it 20? Like based on what I saw, it kind of looked around 2019, 2020, where you were getting into it at that point. Is that true, or was it a little earlier than that?
Early, I think it was 18.
2018. Okay. What was we call it your welcome to the expert or welcome to elite category? What was that welcome to the sport moment for yourself where you had that thought of, wow, this is real. This isn't sport. This isn't base. What was that moment for you? And if you do remember, where might it have been?
I think it was 2018, my first race in Tallahassee, and I was
Okay.
able to get a podium.
Really?
Yeah, I think I got a fifth place with Jordan, Doug Luiz, and Alessio. I think was on the podium, and but it was a
Was
big guns. Was a big guns on that time, and it was Nick Mack and all the young guys was there in that time. I was 38 years old, so I was in the 1939.
All right, so you were at the end of that. You were the old guy in that category. When you had to drop down that hill, because we pretty much have had the same start in Tallahassee every year, you had to line up with all those big guns. And in 2018, there was the elite category. It was, let's call it your rookie year. So you probably had a second row start where the call ups got the first row, unless of course you had a good time trial on that Saturday. But what was it like, once Dave blew the whistle and you had to dive down that hill and then cross the creek and head up to the Cadillac Trail with your, I'm sure, at least for me, every race that I've ever done with you guys has been my eyes rolling back into my head and my chest wanting to explode, but realizing that that's the nature of what you're going to have to do for the next 90 or 100 minutes. What was that like for you?
Uh, Line up behind you guys. I have a butterfly in my stomach. Yeah, everything was new for me, but uh, thanks. I have the Allison giving me support, and there we have Humberto Toledo. We was on the same team for bicycle generation,
Oh, okay.
and then I have Alessio as a partner too. And so they kind of just give me some advice in there to don't do anything silly inside the group, when they start in there, and but going down and try to get in position. And I was afraid to hold someone back, and just try to cross that creek, and hold someone wheel, and grind to my teeth to to go to the up the fire road,
Right. How did it feel? Did you have any stress or anxiety? Because after that fire road, you gotta do that bombing descent down the Cadillac Trail. I'm sure if there was a couple guys in front of you or somebody or a couple guys in front of you and a couple guys behind you, the nerves of dropping down that thing also at that elite level has got to be a stressor where normally you would think, okay, it's time to descend. I get to relax a little bit. But it sounds like to me that there's probably none of that thought process.
Oh, it disappears after, uh, when the start, and you start have all those thoughts in your head when before they start the race. But when you start the race, you forgot about everything and just gotta be focused. Don't, as I said, don't do anything silly. Just gotta follow someone wheels, and hold in there. I think that's the main thing.
Right. Um, Fast forward now to this year. So you've been around, definitely no rookie. You've been around the category in the elite category in the 40 to 49 XC1 for a couple of years now. Like I said in the intro, you did second in the time trial this weekend, and then fourth or fifth on what was it, fifth, fourth this past weekend, and then the two weekends before it cracked into that number two spot. Where I've been impressed with your career and your dedication to this, but it seems like the you started the year a little bit, I don't want to say hesitant, but maybe a little bit behind the ball. Granted, we do have a 4 month, we've got from September to December. So we have almost 12 weeks worth of racing that we have to cram eight. If you're going to do a makeup, you cram nine weekends of racing into. It's a pretty hectic schedule. You don't necessarily want to come in with guns ablaze and in fitness perfect because it's hard to hold on to. But tell me how you felt that you came into the season and why and where uh this I don't know, this newfound fitness, or everything seems to be really clicking right now for you.
Yeah, many years I started the championship, and high, the top, and their is the my performance, and then graduating is going down. And I tried to do something different this year. A lot of guys start strong in the beginning, and the middle of the season they start to feel in the race. And I start to do something different. I just reduce the amount of the hours being training, get more days to rest after race, and try to compose myself on the next race. And that's what I think was happening. I was very concerned about my performance this year, to do things correct, to see where I'm doing those mistakes. So what days I can train and listen more to my body, instead to push hard after every race. No, I gotta train more. I need to hit those numbers. No, I just gotta listen to my body and do the right thing to perform so well to the next race.
Right. So you think in Alva, San Falasco. We had San Falasco first and then over to Alva. San Falasco, I'm clicking off a second there. How did that day, what was going through your head that day? And then knowing that you were sitting in second place. And I think, I don't remember who got did Julio get the win that day?
No, Eric.
Oh, Eric, oh, that's right. I think
Yeah.
Eric's first win. So you and the guys were chasing him down. How did that event go? And then you sitting in second place, how were you feeling that day? Did everything all of a sudden start to click for you? And then you carried that into Alva. But what was that emotion like at San Falasco? Or maybe the week before that, was there something that occurred that like a switch went off and said, you know what, it's time to go? But why was Falasco a turning point for you?
Uh, I was feeling pretty confident that day. I went to there Saturday to pre-ride. The leg was responding super good. The number was high in my computer, and my leg was good. And I told my friend, Philippe, said tomorrow is gonna be a good day.
Nice. And it was.
Yeah, and then the pace was high because the trail is very smooth, and there in São Felasco, I love that trail, and I always got a good result in there. And but I was so confident in that race. I was feeling good, and close gaps. I have a Pacheco fell in front of me, and then I told him, "You got this, man. We're gonna close those gaps." Because when he fell, uh, Julio and Ed could go around us. I couldn't go anywhere because Julio wasn't. Pacheco was in front of me, and uh, and then he picked himself up and then jump on a bike, and then we start chase those guys, and we were able to catch them and pass.
So
And Pacheco,
the two you want after Pacheco went down, the two you wound up working together to get to close back into the group.
yeah,
Wow. Okay.
we were able to catch them and drop them to and then we start to catching one by one those guys, the young guys. I think was Jacob, Jack, um, Ashton, and we was having fun in it. I love it. Pacheco was looking back, see me, and giving a thumbs up, say, "Let's go."
That's to me, that is the best part about racing. And the way I refer to it is that you guys are in shape. Each one of you is in shape. And when it doesn't necessarily, yes, fitness matters, but when racing doesn't necessarily come down to the fitness because everybody's in shape, and it comes down to tactics and how strong is your mind on that day and what's happening. The fact that Carlos crashes in front of you, the other two guys get around him, you come to a grinding halt. The veteran experience in yourself is okay. I can't do anything about this right now. And then Carlos gets up and it's all right. Let's do this. Let's go and
Right.
chase them down. So you had a great San Falasco, and then you clearly carried that energy into Alva the following weekend. How did you feel there?
pretty well as well. You know, I felt great in there. The pace was high because Eric was able to get the whole shot. He went to the front, and he was hammered. And he know the trails. You know, he can ride that trail with blind. You know, and I was watching. I think was Miguel video every night. I was watching the his video.
Oh,
Uh,
Miguel's video of it. Okay.
yeah, I was watching every night to try to memorize each section of that trail. My wife was, "What are you doing? You watch that video again?" I said, I know."
Well, it clearly helped because you had a
Yeah,
great finish there. All right, and then this past weekend, the the time trial on Saturday. I called it a short track for some reason. I don't. It's a time trial. So it was a second place on the time trial on Saturday, and then fourth on Sunday. So it seems like you fell off. You fell off pace on Sunday just a little bit. I think based on the results, you were maybe a minute behind the three guys or the guy that whoever was in front of you. Is that correct?
I think it was minute 1 minute and a half. I think.
Okay, so Hialeah is, in my opinion, this time at the park, it was very reminiscent of what you had experienced at San Falasco and what you'd experienced at Alva. Neither of those parks were very hard, and I understand when I say this for viewers and fans out there. It's a relative term. I understand that this is a relative term, but I really felt that Amelia this week was not a hard park. Generally, if you look at average speeds, when you see average speeds that are around the 17s, that's probably because the park is not actually that hard. San Falasco had high average speeds because the park wasn't that hard. Alva has that high average speeds. So coming off of those two events, we're going down into Hialeah on Sunday. I viewed it as it was going to be another high speed course, which I thought, okay, he's on point coming off these other races. And trust me, I'm not downplaying your abilities at all. I'm just, calling what I see. Did something occur this weekend? Were you
Uh,
beat up at all from the time trial on Saturday?
no, not at all. I was feeling pretty good this Saturday, and leg was okay. But a Sunday, just after the start, I couldn't tell. I was not gonna be a good race for me. It just my leg is uh, my leg just don't obey my mind. My mind said, "You can do this. You can do this." Just I don't know what happened. Just my legs was burning. The pace the pace was the second group. When Marco and Jonathan they took off, and with just the big group was left behind, which was Jack, Antonio, Pacheco, Julio, Shorter, and
Jay
other
wasn't
others.
Jacob was in there too with you guys, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was not that high the pace. I compare with the San Velasco with the speed and the power was put in there was. But I just could not follow those guys. It was hard for me that day. It was a hard day for me to try to follow. Uh, I think was Mario was the in front of me. I was the last one,
Hmm.
and I was grateful watching Mario was able to follow them, and I think he went all the way to the end. I think I but
Yeah,
every
yeah,
other guys
there
was
was a
still in the race.
sprint finish. Yeah, there was a sprint finish with all of them, and Mario was the last guy in the sprint. I thought from what I heard inside the trail, I thought it was going to come down to something with the four of you guys, but you didn't. You weren't. I guess they at some point in lap four. Was everybody together on three, and then it just started to fall off from there? Like, did you make it to four with everybody?
No, no, no.
Okay,
I
so you
was
fell off somewhere in three.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was just but I saw the other guy was suffering as well as a Jack. Jacob was, you know, it was not able to hold the pace. The guy on the, I think he raced for Leroy Ashton.
Okay,
Ashton,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
He was
he was.
in all that red kit, that pink and red kit, or
Yeah,
pink and
he
gray.
was
Yeah.
feeling the. He was not feeling good as well. For as far I know, he's a good rider. He's young, and all the other races he was. I couldn't see them after the start. You know, they was, but I don't know. It's a race and it's a race. So I was trying my best, and I could. I could.
Do you think the time trial on Saturday took anything out of your legs on Sunday? And what was like what type of protocol do you have after such an event on Saturday? Like what did you do on Saturday night? Do you do air boots? Did you get a massage or you just try and get off your feet? Did you do anything Saturday night?
Got an ice cream to treat myself.
Nice, good for you, man. Good for you. Maybe next time there won't be maybe next time there won't be ice cream that'll sit in your legs on the next day. But
No,
I think
I
go ahead.
usually I like to empty the tank Saturdays, like in a pre-ride. Sometimes I go one easy lap and a hot second lap I go hot, and then
Yep.
the third lap I go easy again, and sometimes a fourth lap. But usually like a three laps. I like to go in Saturdays. It just get empty, and then to tell my body what is like is something wrong with this guy. We gotta anything he's putting his body, we're gonna take it and put it back in his muscle. You
Hmm.
know.
That's a great tactic. When I spoke to you earlier in the week, you had hinted that you were not going to make it down for the time trial on Saturday, and then all of a sudden I'm standing on the starting line, look over and see your face there. Did you early in the week you told me you weren't going to be there. At what
No,
point did you
no.
realize that you were going to go get on your bike and do a time trial and then throw down a second place?
Doug called me. He said, "You need to do that race because we don't did the race in Dyer Park, the short track."
You needed the
So that's
points
why
from
he
it.
said, "Oh no, I thought I'm gonna get rest for."
All right. How are you feeling? So we're back up to Ocala this weekend for the final FSC 8 final of the 2025 season. How are you feeling coming into this weekend coming up?
Very good. I'll get some rest and probably gonna do a couple rides, easy rides, and get some rest. But I'm very confident for that race. I'm gonna give it my all in there. You know.
I look forward to seeing what you can do out there and the so based on your results in 21 fourth, 22 third, 23 fourth, 24th second, and like I said you're holding on to fifth place this year with the possibility of squeaking up to fourth. 2 points down, which means you have to beat who it is and then get one person in between the two of you to go and pick up that fourth overall. What do you think? Like you're everybody wants to get one of those fancy red plates. What do you think it is that you would that's I, I don't want to say missing from your program, but you've been doing great and you're right there. What do you think it is that could be a missing piece to get you that FSC champion plate?
Yeah, I think I need to be more consistent on the training. Maybe get a coach or something like that to help me to get there. I do everything by my own, you know, and I think it was 2023. I had a good chance to be a state champion. Was against Seth and Pacheco. Whatever was cross the finish line, it was be the champion. But right at the start, um, uh, Humberto fell in front of me. I hit his head with my left foot, and for some reason that day, my derailleur stopped working, and I
Oh,
did the
really?
four I did the four lap in one gear, and I stopped. I put a new battery. Nothing could make that derailleur work. So but that year 2022 was a great year for me. I think I got the Coconut Cup. I think I got the gravel grind, and I got a second place. I think on the FLE,
Oh, okay.
and
And I this is completely my fault. When I gave the introduction to you, I neglected to do the one main thing, man, and I'm sorry about that. Gilberto has a fancy red number one plate for the FLE, the Florida Endurance Series. He's got a number one plate from the Endurance Series from 2024. Proud to say he took me down in the series. I came back in 25 and I told him I was getting that thing back. But man, congrats on that. I forgot to Man, I feel bad now. I needed to say that one in
no,
the beginning because
I have
that's
another one from the gravel grind. Number one, the red plate from against he's a coach. I forget his name. Oh my god, he's on shot. I think.
okay. Well, there
Yeah,
you go. Two of those fancy red
dude.
number one plates. Good for you, man. We need to get you one of those for the 40 to 49 category, or hell, if you don't do it then, you got to stick around to when you're 50 and go get yourself one of those in the 50-year-old category. What would you say, and it sounds like I'm going to know the answer to this, but what would you say you're better at, and which do you enjoy more, those endurance races or the 90-minute cross country racing?
uh, is it two different discipline? It's like if I tell you I prefer that, it's look like the other one is bad, but it's not. Every both discipline is good. I don't want to do those long rides, the long race. I never like. I went to FLE just to help a friend. He was going to do it, and he was going by himself, and I tried to enjoy him to make him do the whole season, and I kind of got hooked. And but I love the both discipline, the cross country and the marathon. I love it, love it. And I love the gravel race too. I love
Okay. Yeah, that's
just to be on a bike and on a bicycle and ride and get this feeling of freedom, the air in my face. I love it. I love it.
good, man. As long as you have that attitude, you're going to have a great career and some longevity behind it. Tell us a little bit about what it's like racing. So you did nationals this year. I think you've done nationals before, but what is it like racing at nationals compared to the guys that you have to race at Florida? Clearly, we know the turnout is a lot bigger, and there's um, I'll say more competition. I don't necessarily know if it's harder competition because the guys that you have to compete with are all front runners when it goes to the nationals. But what is it like racing on the national scene or at the nationals?
Uh, it's pretty hard when you go to national. You don't know those guys, you know. When you race a Florida Championship, you kind of know. You can do like a body language to each
Hmm.
rider, and but when you go to national, always show some guy different. You never see them before, and then you and then you kind of what am I gonna do now? You know, just follow those guys and try to be more aggressive and but it was a good experience. It gave a little bit perspective for what you have to do for the next year for the national. So you have to train what it. Uh, in my opinion, the thing is hurting me is the elevation. You know, one is have the course is kind of more flat. I think I can hold the power and do them better. But when it starts to go to those climbs and hurt me, I'm kind of chunk, you know, a little bit heavy.
Hmm.
And I suffer a lot on those races, especially like in Roanoke. You know, the elevation was uh, it was
Yeah, it was a
pretty
lot.
a lot for me. Yeah.
What is your expectation? And for those of you who don't know, our national series, we run 2 years in the same location. So this year We were in Roanoke, so it means we're going back to Roanoke next year. What's your expectation? I'm assuming you're going to go back in 26, correct?
Yes, I will.
And for all three events again?
No, I think I'm gonna do just the marathon and the cross country.
Okay.
And
What's an expectation for yourself when you show up there in 26?
I'm gonna do everything to doing well in those race. And yeah, I think I know what's coming next. You know, the elevation, the trail, the terrain. So then I can do pretty well. I think for next year.
Yeah, the good part is the second time we show up to a location, the the course doesn't really modify. Maybe a turn or two that might be different, but as far as the energy, the hotels, where you're going to eat, the travel, the locations, you kind of have all of that down. So it's a good peace of mind when you show up. Unfortunately, it's the same thing for everybody. Usually everybody that races it the first year winds up showing back up for the second year. Gil, what are some of your goals in this sport?
Uh, my first goal was it was just to when I saw you racing, I told my friend, you know, one day I'm gonna have a party with Bobby.
Nice, thank you.
I was able to accomplish that one, and I think it's on the Hell's Trails. I think it was 6 hour race,
Okay.
and I got a second place in there. And
Was who was I on the top step or was I on the third step?
you win that race after you left me. And the race was fine and a 3 hours race, and then it started rain at the halfway to the end of the
Okay.
race.
I
And it
remember that
was
one.
a mud festival on that day. But and I told you when I went to the podium, and said my dream came true is just to get a picture with you on the podium. So
Well, man, thank you. Thank you for that. I'm glad that I was your goal that day. Hopefully you have some that are higher than me these days and you keep pushing. How about in the next 10 years? You still see yourself doing this?
absolutely, absolutely. I think when I still breathing, I think I want to crank those pedals and keep moving forward.
Man, good for you. I love the energy. I love the energy that you put out at the race course every weekend. Let me hit you with a couple of quick questions. What kind of bike do you ride?
I have this Factor XC Lando.
Okay. And is it the only bike you have, or do you have what some of the guys have as far as race bike and practice bike?
Now I have on the race bike, and I have my gravel race. I used to commute to go work and go back home. So I use
I
that.
heard I heard I heard a rumor, and I don't know, and I'm probably getting this wrong, but do you commute to work on your bike back and
E-
forth every day?
Every other day,
And how far is it?
25 miles one way.
Okay, so it is correct. Good for you, man. For those of you don't think you can't find the time to train or cram this in, look at what Gilberto's doing, man. Get out and find a way to do it. You don't need to lie in bed. Get up an hour and a half earlier and ride your bike to work. I don't care how far it is. What kind of tire pressure do you run in the front? What kind of tire pressure in the rear?
It's depend each park, most of the park I go 16 and 18. 16 in
Okay,
the
16
front,
front, 18 rear.
yeah. But some parks they need more, especially when in the high turns,
Mhm, a high speed turn, you don't want to blow a tire off the rim. How many hours a week do you train? And I know this is kind of a variable number, so we'll hit it in two different ways. Off season, how many hours a week do you train? Meaning off
12
season from racing, and then in season when we're, for instance, with the Florida State Series, how many hours for off and how many hours for on season?
off season, 12 to 15.
Okay.
Yeah, riding back and forth to work, and then and the week. in the weekends, long ride on levee, and right now I'm just doing like 4.5 to 5 hours.
Wow. Okay. And you use Training Peaks?
No, no.
Okay. How many miles a week do you it would be a what would be a good week and what would be an average week?
Uh, Now is let me see, 50, 100, 150
Okay. And then what would be that would be an average week or that would be a good week for you?
average a week. Yeah,
Okay. And what would be a good off-season week?
be like 250.
Okay. All right. Any injuries that you've been not the soccer ones, any cycling injuries that you've
Yeah,
been unfortunate to have?
AC dislocation.
Okay. And you had it repaired or you just living with the bump?
No, leave it with the bump. The doctor said it just, if you want it, it's just a cosmetic surgery. You don't need it. Oh,
It was my
welcome to the
story
club.
2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, mine was
Cosmetic.
an hammerhead. I think it was 2016, 2015, and a hammerhead race.
And that back in that day, it was a 25, 50, 75, or 100. Were you doing the 100 that day?
No, I was 50.
Okay. And it was on
Uh,
the second lap of the 50 or the first lap of the 50?
second lap of the 50. Yeah,
Furthest from scoring, or were you pretty close to scoring?
pretty close.
Okay. The reason I say that, for those of you that don't know, the Hammerhead race is a 25-mile lap, and it's essentially 12 and a half miles away from scoring and 12 and a half miles back. So if Gil happened to get hurt 12 and a half miles, man, that's a long way back to scoring with a separated shoulder. Is that it? Just the AC?
That's it.
All right, man. Good for you. Let's keep it that way. Gilberto,
Exactly.
what would you say is your favorite park? And let's keep it within Florida.
Favorite park.
Yeah, what's your favorite mountain bike park?
I'm gonna say quiet water because is easy to get in, and the park is just a couple miles from here to work.
Hmm.
From work, and ride with the boys. So I think quiet waters.
I've said this a few times before and in my show that accountability partners and training partners are a huge piece behind being successful in this sport. It sounds like to me that you've got a pretty good training crew up north. Would love to have the opportunity to get down here down south and train with myself and my guys. I think you could really help us, or we could help each other. So not that those guys up north aren't fast and hold each other accountable, but Gilberto's very fortunate to have a bunch of really good training partners, which I think has to do with your success, Gilberto. So good job with that. Do you have a favorite athlete or anybody that has been a role model to help you stay focused in the sport and doing what it is that you love?
Well, I think one person I'm gonna mention you. You're the reason I saw you racing, and I think another one is, I think, is Allison.
Oh, okay.
Uh, Allison Andrews. Yeah, I think is a good reference for me, for Alessio Umberto. When you have a guy strong like him pushing hard, you try to chase him. It
Yeah.
make you stronger. So like Marcos and Mario, Rodrigo, Noah has you as a partner. You're pushing hard in those trails. Those guys grinding teeth behind you. And
It's
thank
it's
Ryan.
yeah, it's absolutely brutal, these training partners that I've put myself around. But Allison, for you in your area, Allison is a great barometer. And I don't know if he watches the show or not, but I'll put this out there. Get your shit together, Allison. Get back. Get back to being who you're supposed to be.
Exactly.
We
Stop the
need
efficient
you.
man.
We need you back. You're clearly wanted in this sport. So I just should to
I think he's
and get
coming back
back.
next year. Yeah, yeah.
I know, I know. Trust me, I've been with Allison for a long time. I know how this program works. I've been banging bars with him since 2005. All right. Well, and thank you for adding me in that list. That really means a lot to me. I try to do my best, be a role model as best I can, and keep guys like you motivated in the sport and chasing. I've used this I've used this example before, and I'll say, hey man, good luck to you. I'm fortunate that I get to start behind you, but guess what? I'm trying to catch you. Every week, I'm trying to catch you. So even though it's 2 minutes that I start behind you, keep taking a look over your shoulder because I'm driven to catch up to you guys. Gil, does if any of the fans out there want to follow you, what are some of your handles that anybody could use if they wanted to see what you're up to?
Oh, they can find on Facebook or on Instagram. That's my main social media, so they can find me.
Okay. I'll look them up once we're done. Any one piece of advice where I'm gonna throw you into the category as being a veteran racer. Any one piece of advice or two pieces of advice, it doesn't matter to me, that you would give to somebody young, up and coming rider, or they don't even have to be young, somebody that's trying to get into this sport. Any piece of advice that you might be able to give them that has been successful for you to want to stay around, because God knows this sport is not easy. Does never gets easier. You only get faster, but it hurts every single time you ride. And it's a hard thing to try and convince somebody to come into this world. But what's some advice you might want to give somebody?
Well, maybe I have a three ones.
Okay.
One is the discipline. Uh, on the sport, you need a discipline. So I don't have sometimes like a motivation to go and let it ride, but I have a discipline. I know I have what I have to do to get what I want. And another one, listen for someone that's more experienced than you, like your mentor. And the third one, just go in there and have fun.
Mm-hmm. Those are perfect ones. If you can put those three together, you'll find a way to get to be successful in the sport. The one that I want to add to it is you're not riding today to be fast tomorrow. And if that's what your reality, if that's what you think the reality is, this sport might not be for you. If you can focus in on those three things that Gil just said and know that because you rode today, you might not be faster tomorrow. It's going to take some time, but it
Sorry.
will 100%. It will come. Gil, any sponsors, anybody that helps you do what it is that you do week in and week out?
Well, we have the bike shop now. We're racing for is a power cycle. It's
Okay,
located
where's that at?
right in front of Quiet Waters. It used to be a
Okay.
Jim's bicycle.
Oh, okay. I
So
didn't know it
now,
changed names.
yeah, now is a new management there. Luis Melini is a power cycle now. So we race for them, and so that's why I choose the racing Factor XC Lando because they represent this brand. But
Okay.
I usually race with a Specialized but now because I'm race for the bike shop. This one.
Okay. Got it. Power cycle.
Yeah, so they are working with the Factor, so it's a nice bike. I love it. I like it.
It's 120 millimeter travel front and rear.
Yes, yes, 120 front and 115, I think, is rear.
Okay,
Yeah.
close enough. Do you guys much like my workouts down here? I have Moto Monday every Monday at Markham Park. Do you guys have a group? Don't you do something on Wednesdays? Don't you have a group training at Quiet Waters?
Yeah, every Wednesday. Now we start a little bit early because the daylight time changed, and I think it was they was going there. I think 4:30, but I wanted the
Okay.
time change again. I think back in March we go to the normal hours. I think it's a 5 o'clock, and there we can
Okay.
do. couple more laps in there.
Got it. Is this open to, it's just a bunch of you guys getting together. Is it open to anybody or is it more of a closed ride?
Now it's open for everybody. We do like a easy lap at the first lap, just for everybody to understand the trail, because the trail can change from one day to the other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it can be a branch and a rock in the trail. So we don't want to go hard in that and hammer, and we don't know what we're gonna expect when they get to the trail. But we do an easy ride just to memorize the trail, to recognize that everything is okay. And then the second lap, we go hard, and then the other guys cannot find the pace, just going in their own pace, and then we get back together in the parking lot again.
I got you. So it's just like what we do down here on Monday. So it sounds like your first lap is your sight lap, just to see what it is that you guys are going to do. Even though it's a bunch of really fast guys, it's a whole group of people. So you can generally, if somebody wants to show up, you're going to find somebody that's able to run at your pace, and somebody that's able to run a little bit faster than you, which is going to help kind of push your pace and help enhance your skill set. Like Gil said about having some really good training partners. Well, listen, man, I really, really appreciate you coming on my show today. I'm looking forward to you getting yourself one of those FSC champion plates. And I cannot, even though I'm not a factor, I can't chase the FLE this year, because I'm going to be in Africa for 3 of the rounds. I can't chase the FLE in 26. So it might be a good opportunity for you to go ahead and get yourself another one of those fancy red #1 FLE plates. Gil, it was an absolute pleasure today. Thank you for your time. And I look forward to seeing you this weekend up at Santos. And like I said earlier, I'm chasing you down. I don't know if it's going to come to fruition, but what the hell? I'm going to give it my all and see what I can do with you. So, man, thank you again for coming on Hook, Line, and Shifter.
Thank you, Bob, for having me. Peace out.
All right. Be well, buddy.
Bye.
What an amazing guy. I've heard about him for a long time before I really became friendly, and have trained a few times with Gilberto, but amazing guy. If you see him at the races, his personality on the show is exactly the same way that he is out at the races. So by all means, go up, introduce yourself, ask him some tactics, talk about training, whatever it is. Very, very personable. So hope you enjoyed that interview with Gilberto. Pre-ride of Amelia. I'm going to speed it up just a hair because the lap is a little bit long, just maybe 10 or 20%, so you can get through it pretty quick. Hope you enjoy this pre-ride of Amelia Earhart Park for the Coconut Cup Series Round 4 2025. All right, I hope you enjoyed that pre-ride video from Amelia this past weekend. Amelia's course generally, course conditions are usually the same. It is a multi-directional park. About every 3 months, the park gets flipped. Next year, when we have to go back, it'll be going the other direction. So video isn't necessarily going to help when you have to go the other way. But 2 years from now, maybe you'll reference this video and be able to pick back up on it, pick out some lines. Really, really good, fast flowing park. The segment that I love, that I absolutely love the most. Last week I had 10. This week we're only going to go with 5. Wood'a Racing from Amelia Earhart Park. Time trial on Saturday, cross country on Sunday. Once again, these are just things that I overhear, people are talking about, and some of them are said to me, which I don't mind in the slightest. 5, Wood'a Racing. Bob, I would have done better if. Number 5. My gears, man. I couldn't go over 20 miles an hour. My gears didn't work. Number 4. Once again, it was too hot. Yep. South Florida in December, it was too hot. Hot day of racing. Number 3. The time trial wore me out. Only wore this person out, by the way. Everybody else that had to do the time trial, they weren't worn out on Sunday. Didn't wear anybody else out. Just myself. We had time trial on Saturday, cross country on Sunday. Time trial wore me out. Here's a good one. Number 2. I don't usually ride at 3 p.m. So the time trial was approximately between 3 and 3:30 or 3:50 on Saturday. I don't usually ride at 3 p.m. So we've got, my gears didn't work. I couldn't go over 20 miles an hour. Once again, it was too hot. Time trial wore me out. I don't usually ride at 3 p.m. And the number 1, this one actually made me laugh a lot because it was a joke, but I appreciated somebody saying it. Hey, Bob, listen, I got a woulda for you. I'm like, all right, what is it? I would have done a lot better if I didn't suck. That one got me. That one got me good. But listen, own the results, own your process. If you got beat, congratulate who beat you. Go back to the drawing board and go back to work. Don't make excuses. They ain't helping. They sure as shit ain't helping yourself. Train hard to be faster a little bit in the future. Train hard, a little bit faster next year, and so on. This sport is relentless. I'll say it's on blue in the face. Never gets easier. You get faster, but it's a sport that requires dedication, suffer, and a whole lot of pain. All right, next episode, what do we got? We got the Florida State Championship Series Round 8 up in Santos Trailhead for the final of the series. Haven't figured out who I'm going to have on yet, but after the race on Sunday, somebody will stand out and be on the show for next Tuesday. As always, can't do this without my sponsors. Orcus Technologies, ESI Grips, U-Cycling, MASH Mobile Vet, POC Helmets, NV Wheels, Pirelli Tires, and Absolute Black. Don't forget to use my discount code HLS2025 to get yourself 20% off site-wide. Thank you for watching another episode of Hook, Line, and Shifter. Like, share, subscribe. It means a lot to me. Once again, have a great training week. I appreciate each and every one of you. We'll see you in Santos.